Hi, it's Chris Rue here, and we're here helping business executives to become business leaders. So welcome back to the third in this series of 3 meditation videos. And today we will be taking a different path to give us an opportunity to take a break from this crazy world at the moment and take a few minutes out to replenish and recharge. So, without further ado, take a moment to get comfortable in your seat. Switch off your phone and any other distractions. And you can decide to close your eyes and relax, or not. It's up to you. As you decide to choose to listen, you can learn and relax as you listen. So now just listen to your breath as you take 2 good deep breaths, counting in for 4 and holding, and out for 4 and holding. In for 4, and out. And as you continue to breathe, you notice that our story returns on our now familiar path towards the woodlands. But there have been some changes since last we travelled together, and the path you find yourself on is not quite the same. And you can decide on what you choose to learn on this journey, and what you choose to explore as you go deeper on this journey today. You just need to be willing to learn from this and learn from anything that you find. So perhaps today, as a start on our journey, I wonder which path we will take and which woodland we'll turn into. We can always visit the master woodsman in his cottage, or we can visit the old canal. But perhaps today you wish to explore further and deeper into another woodland. Maybe in order to learn what you need to learn, to be curious about where the paths may lead you on your journey, and what lessons you need to learn in order that you can let go of what is not necessary and take on just what you need for your onward journey. There are a couple of changes you need to make, and perhaps 1 or 2 things you need to bring with you on your journey, so that you can explore more deeply. You may decide to go off the usual path and explore areas that you've not looked at for a long time, where no one usually goes, where you can be safely on your own and be curious about the deeper challenges that you wish to explore and resolve. So when you're ready, we can start on our journey. And you may already notice that you have already many answers to questions as yet unspoken. And you may already notice that you want to go deeper, to explore further, and be curious about what you find and what you can leave behind. It's a glorious day out in the countryside. Look over there. Let's take a stroll together and see if we can find a different path to explore. I think there may have been some new developments since our last journey. My voice will accompany you on this crisp and sunny day, and as you look ahead, you can see the old familiar green path ahead of you that leads down towards the many woodland areas. Just there you can see off to the right the woodland where the master woodsman lives. You may have travelled on that path many times, and you enjoy walking on its green yet well-used track. You notice the calming and peaceful view you have, with the warmth of the sun shining down on you, and just a hint of a breeze across your face as you walk on. Ah, they are the skylarks. They're here again, just over there. You can just hear them on the breeze. They hover effortlessly, singing from a great height, rising to the challenges they face. They're showing off their hovering prowess. Look, parachuting back down to earth. Such a spirited song from an intrepid communicator. Talk about shouting it from the rooftops. Notice how free it is to fly around and explore the whole countryside at its own pace, without restriction, enjoying the freedom with the sun on its back, the time and space to relax and recharge. You notice the further you walk, the calmer you feel, and you move on. As you do, you can sense the smell of woodland in the air. As you walk on, the spirited skylark is inspiring you to think about your challenges, those things that have been with you for such a long time. Perhaps it's time to make some changes and find the new you for the year to come. I wonder what holds you back, that part of you that stops you from being who you want to be and doing what you want to do. Wouldn't it be great if you could make a change there? I wonder what you'd have to believe you can make that change, what you can decide to do if you choose to make that change. Maybe. That's an interesting challenge. As is which way you want to go today. You look up and realize that you hardly noticed that you've already travelled quite a way down the path. Now you're losing sight of the horizon as the trees fill your view. And you find yourself once more in front of the gate that now asks you the question, which way will you go today? It's time to decide. Maybe there's a lot to decide and some challenges to consider. There have been some new changes and some new developments, which may well be interesting to explore more deeply. You notice you feel safe and warm with the sun enveloping you, and enjoy the choices you have in front of you. There is no rush to make a choice. Now you can just take your time and allow yourself just to be with whatever comes up, to learn what you need to learn, and to decide which way you want to go now. You enjoy leaning on the gate a little while longer. Which woodland should you try? Perhaps today you'll try a more challenging route, so you can stretch yourself a little bit and go a little deeper into the woodland. Of course, I could take the direct path. You know, the one that will take me directly to the cottage. But I've visited the Master Woodsman quite recently. I could take that path through the birch trees, that longer track, with a number of different choices and changes, things to explore on its interesting route. Yes, I remember now. A tunnel, a stream, a bridge. Yes, that's some good exercise for the body and mind. Then there is that third path, that overgrown path. Yes, just over there. That takes you to a different woodland again. It's quite a while since you took that path. It looks older and overgrown, quite challenging in places, because the path is not obvious. But I seem to recall it can be very rewarding if you choose to take it. With all that rough terrain and steep climbs, it does yield a view that you can uncover which is far better than anywhere else in the woodlands. It's amazing what you can see and learn. Your reward for a challenge accepted. And you uncover new paths and find new ways and skills in the forest you can take with you as you go on your onward journey. So it's time to decide. Time to lift the clasp of the gate. And as you hear the gate close, the intrepid explorer in you turns towards that more challenging, overgrown path. Quick glance down at your feet. Yes, you have sturdy footwear on today. So you can go deeper. You can go deeper into the woodland. Smiling to yourself as you walk forward, you notice how overgrown this track has become. Notice the brambles at the edges with their spiky thorns, and the high levels of grass around your ankles. Forging on, you can feel the grass is brushing your legs as you walk along this short track. Noticing that you're also having to put a little more effort in already, as the path is starting to incline. And as you turn slightly with this old track, you notice just a few yards or so in front of you, the tree line already emerging on the side of the hill. It didn't look so steep when you looked at it from afar. The remnants of the track come forward and split in front of you at the base of that tree line, turning left and right, creating a grassy moat surrounding the hill in front of you. There hasn't been a tractor down this track for many a year. Your path, though, is straight ahead. The birds in the trees above you are chattering their invitation to you to come in, and you step forward, observing the narrow single scar on the rising slope in front of you. Trees closing in a little on either side as you feel the woodland enveloping and drawing you in as you start your climb up this now slippery and stony indentation in the hillside. You can feel the tree roots through your boots poking up through the floor, assisting your progress as you climb up this track. You look down at the floor as you climb, being careful where you tread. And in doing so, notice the small tortuous patterns in the ground, where past rainfall has carved its own route down the path you walk on. replicating in its own small way the courses its larger brothers and sisters make, forming the streams and valley in which you walk. You muse on how nature always finds a way to adapt to change, to sense and respond, and to take on whatever form is necessary to survive and thrive, always maintaining forward momentum. The woodland reminds you of the never-ending cycle of the seasons, and here nothing is ever truly lost or really ends. It just becomes something else. It's really quite a long ascent. But if a thing's worth doing, you notice as you continue your climb. And as you move on up the hillside, you start to realize the incline is just starting to relax a little. And there, up ahead of you, off to the right, someone has constructed a rather handy rough bench out of some old sawn down tree logs and a rough sawn plank. It's clearly been there some time. It's covered in moss. It sits opposite a clearing in the woodlands. Whatever the reason, it's a welcome place to pause and take stock. This is a good time to review the new developments that have been taking place, and perhaps what might be needed to tackle some of these changes. Interestingly, the clearing in front of you, while overgrown, has clearly been managed at some time, because you can see in front of you 4 different structures. One of them looks like a hide, constructed of overlapping tree branches and fabricated to be made many years ago, I think, and designed to keep something or someone hidden from view. Perhaps someone wanted to take a look at some of the wildlife in their natural habitat, where they can see how they really live and how they really operate when they're left to their own devices. Here they can be who they want to be and relax without fear. Perhaps this reminds you of playing in the woods as a child, where you could run and hide, climb a tree and watch nature in action, and just be curious about what is going on without fear. You wonder what you hide from in the world today. Isn't it interesting what happens when you let go of that deep fear that holds you back? Being curious about it. You know, that old belief that you have from a long time ago. Of course, you are not the same person you were then. It's amazing how much this woodland has grown and changed over the years. Old becomes new, adapting to change with new growth, adapting with the seasons, flexing and renewing while continuing to build its ancient wisdom, gaining a deeper understanding of what is true today. You are not the same person that you were when you first learned how to hide. You glance across from that hide to notice the second structure, a pile of long 5 to 6 foot logs. They've been there for many years and they're looking a little messy. They're stacked a little bit off. But part of the stack has actually fallen down, but Nevertheless, if you needed to build something, they could be useful. They're just resources waiting to be used. They may remind you of a time that was more challenging for you when you needed some resources to help you through. Some courage, some love, some support. And you can decide what's useful for you now, knowing that you are now in a different time and place. As you sit on the bench, you can draw into those resources, feeling safe and secure, and curious about how you've moved on since then. And you're not the person you were then. You have learned so much. I wonder what advice you would give that person. And you can learn what you need to learn to let go of that emotion of old effortlessly and easily so you can move on today. Next to those logs, it's the remains of an old fire. The ground is bare and there's a hint of grey ash colouring the brown soil all around it. It doesn't look that old. So perhaps someone else has been up here more recently. Perhaps this was an area that the master woodsman uses from time to time when he needs to clear this part of the woodlands. He would know the difference between growth and unhealthy growth just by looking or feeling or listening to his intuition and knowing when to go deeper into the woodland to make appropriate changes at just the right time. And next to the fire there's the fourth structure, which is really quite a large fenced off area full of long stems which have been stripped bare. And there to the right there's an unfinished fence panel. Oh, of course, this is a coppicing area. Perhaps the master woodsman has been coppicing. You know, it's all about creating sustainable growth by effectively managing the trees each year, chopping down the trees to the ground, getting rid of the old wood, and encouraging the new shoots to grow up to be strong and stout stems. The master woodsman has fashioned fencing panels with chestnut stems. It's interesting to see something new emerge from the old. It's always possible to find new ways to do things. And I recall watching the master woodsman work with hazel stems for thatching and making hurdles. Nothing goes to waste with effective use of all the resources available. And I guess this is where he prepares the stems. And that's why there's a fire, to get rid of that material that's no longer any use. Just put it on the fire and transform it. Isn't it interesting that you need to cut something down in order to make it sustainable? Nature is a good tutor. If it can be reused, it will be. Let nothing go to waste. The master woodsman has many talents, and like the seasons, he knows when it's the right time to chop down the old dead wood, to leave space for the new growth in the spring, and when to make sure the new growth is supported when it is needed. Fire is a transformative, and the master woodsman can make sure that they'd only start a safe fire with a safe boundary where you can watch the sparks fly safely at a distance and hear the crackle as those old, unhealthy, dead and rotten fences that are no longer needed are those brambles that have been barring the way forward are transformed into nutrient ash, and in clearing the space help create new growth, all as part of the natural cycle of change. My, how technology has moved on. And so you realise, you've been on this bench for a little while there, enjoying the rest and the chance to recharge and gain what resources you need for the onward journey. Feeling re-energized, you can see the path flattening out in front of you. That's good. It's an easier journey forward. Notice the birds and the trees supporting you on your journey onwards. The canopy above you is thinning now, and the sunshine is dancing through the leaves down onto you, and you feel the warmth of its rays on your head as you walk on. The path is flat now, curving gently as you progress forward with a comfortable, relaxed stroll. And there, just in this distance, you see a stile. A smile crosses your face with anticipation. That small barrier is all that now stops you from heralding the entry to the reward on this journey. Your energy rising, you make your way along the path to the stile, bound by hedges on either side, obscuring your view for a moment. But climbing up and over, your breath is taken away as you see the wonderful 5 counties view. On this wonderful sunny day, you find yourself looking out now, across the valleys and the hills, painting a glorious masterpiece of beauty and freedom. Countryside below you mapped out and offering you the chance to stay a while and drink in the sounds and textures of the land. As you look around and take it in, you notice the feelings of calmness and peace as you stay for a moment to enjoy the view. You notice how good it feels to see nature's rewarded and renewed tapestry of colour and growth, as it refreshes and renews its onward progress in a spectacle of colour and vigour. Well, it would be great to stay here for a while. But time is passing, and the wide open path in front of you beckons you back, drawing you back down the hill. Its arc reminds you that you are on your way back. With the wide open fields at your side and a downhill path in front of you, this is a wonderfully relaxed reward for your early endeavour. With planes flying overhead, you notice the freedom you feel, and it's great to feel the gentle breeze in your face as you walk. Before you know it, you've walked across this wide expanse and are turning right now, back down towards the gate. Yes, there it is, back where we started. And as you walk through, you gently shrug your shoulders and notice with a smile how relaxed you're feeling. Stretch your arms and roll your head and neck as you walk away, shrugging off all the tension that remains and letting go of whatever you need to let go of. Isn't it interesting how you feel so much more relaxed as you walk away onto the path out of the woodland, letting go of what you need to, maybe re-engaging with something that you thought was lost, and harnessing that new energy and light that is there in abundance for you whenever you need it, as you say goodbye to that old stuff you no longer need. Looking forward now, you continue with a lighter pace to your walk, and once again notice the skylarks as you return across the big field. As they sing their joyous tune, you notice how clearly you can hear that bird song, and again the sunshine falling on your face as you leave the woodlands well behind you, relaxed, calm, refreshed and energized. And you can see the path that takes you back home. You know you can always come back whenever you want to and find what you need in the calm and peace of your woodland. And when you're ready, you can come back into the room. Well, I hope you enjoyed that journey, and if you'd like to join me on future journeys, then please look out for more of these relaxation videos and let me know how you get on with them. In the meantime, if you'd like to know more, then please feel free to subscribe to my free leadership training to be found on chrisroot.com/free to get more tools and techniques that can help you become a more successful and effective leader. And in the meantime, let me just thank you for listening. I wish you luck going forward with your leadership challenges. And thank you for letting me help you become the leader that you want to be. Bye for now.